Are you on thyroid hormone replacement but still feel awful? Or are your thyroid levels normal yet you have classic symptoms? Do you feel like you've tried everything and don't know what to do next? Do you wonder how you can get to the true root causes of autoimmunity or functional hypothyroidism? Are you holding out for a natural way to resolve your symptoms? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Heal Your Thyroid podcast. I'm Madeleine Lowry, a neural retraining specialist and founder of Twin Cities Neural Retraining. I work with clients in virtual sessions to resolve the hidden sources of stress behind chronic health issues, including thyroid function. In this episode, I'm going to uncover 3 reasons why you're still struggling with fatigue, brain fog, weight gain, depression, anxiety, hair loss, constipation, or insomnia, despite following medical advice. Many years ago, I had classic hypothyroid symptoms, but my lab values were normal, and I had to figure it out for myself. After recovering my own health and working with hundreds of clients in thousands of sessions, I believe that to get to the bottom of your thyroid issues, you have to start with your mind. If you're finally ready to address your thyroid issues in a new way, a mind-body way, then this podcast is for you. I'm going to connect the dots for you so that you will understand the real reasons you still have thyroid problems despite everything you've tried and what you can do about it. Could neural retraining be your best next step to thyroid healing? Take our quiz at tcneuralretraining.solutions to find out. So let's talk about why you still have thyroid symptoms despite following medical advice. You may be someone that has a diagnosis of Hashimoto's or hypothyroidism. You may be on hormone replacement therapy, or you may be someone who is not diagnosed, someone with subclinical hypothyroidism, whose labs look mostly normal, but still you have all the classic symptoms of low thyroid function. The first reason I want to describe is an overfocus on the thyroid. I want you to understand that thyroid function is not all about the thyroid gland. We also have to consider what is going on at the cellular level. And that is because cells and tissues have the ability to shut out thyroid hormone and even deactivate it once it enters the cell. This is called cellular hypothyroidism. And the different cells and tissues of your body can do this to different levels or different extents independently, which is why we can have hyper and hypothyroid symptoms at the same time. Now, I'm not going to go deep into the cellular biology here. I'm just going to hit the highlights, and I'm going to point you to some resources if you would like to learn more. Chiefly the excellent book by Dr. Eric Balkavage and Dr. Kelly Halderman called The Thyroid Debacle. Now, why would some cells not allow thyroid hormone in? Why would the cells and tissues of your body not make the best use of the thyroid hormone available to them? The answer is the cell danger response. This is a body of work done by Dr. Robert Navio at Stanford University. He describes 2 modes of cellular function. One is the normal mode, where the cell is carrying out its cellular activities, and the other is a cell danger response, where the cell goes into a kind of semi-hibernation state and is no longer generating energy and performing its cellular functions to the level that it should be. And what causes this subpar function at the cellular level? The cell danger response is caused by prolonged cellular stress, or the perception of stress or threat. And where is the stress? I want you to ask yourself that question. where does stress live? In my view, it's in the mind, because stress is an interpretation by the mind. So this brings us to the second reason you're still struggling, or the second missed connection that keeps people struggling. And that is the connection between stress and thyroid function. If you've ever watched a zebra get chased by a lion and make a stunning escape, and then rejoin its zebra family and shake off that stress and return to eating, grazing, within minutes, like nothing happened. You've observed the difference between the way most of the animal community, most of the animal world deals with stress. But humans are not like that. We tend to prolong stress in our mind through our conscious and subconscious thoughts and associations. Stress can also be amplified by our imaginings, our fears, our worries and concerns. And so a stressful situation that lasted only minutes can live in our mind for days, weeks, months, and even longer. So let's review. Thyroid symptoms are not just about the levels of thyroid hormone, as anyone who has tried thyroid hormone replacement and discovered that after the honeymoon period, the improvement in symptoms did not last. Prolonged cellular stress can result in a semi-hibernation mode called the cell danger response, where the energy-producing functions of the cell are shut down and thyroid hormone uptake is inhibited. Now, when we talk about stress, most of the time we are referring to consciously known stressors like deadlines, traffic, financial stress, relationship stress, caregiver stress, and the like. But there is a hidden type of stress, subconscious stress, that is often the greater contributor of stress. And here's my third reason that we are missing the true causes of thyroid struggles, and that is hidden sources of stress. You see, unprocessed emotions from painful emotional events contribute to our overall stress load and become a barrier to healing. And that's not all. There are many contributors to hidden stress in the psyche, besides trauma, including our habitual ways of coping with stress, disempowering core beliefs, behavior patterns such as perfectionism or people-pleasing, patterns of worry or rumination, our view of ourselves and our place in the world, and so much more. Advanced neural retraining works with the subconscious mind to clear these kinds of blocks to healing. And why is this important? Because these unresolved sources of stress are keeping you in the stress response. There's one thing I want you to take away from this episode. I want you to understand that in the stress response, that's the fight, flight, freeze response, no healing can occur. All healing functions come back online when we are in the relaxation response, which is the rest, digest, and heal response. You may have heard of these two modes of the autonomic nervous system. We also refer to them as the sympathetic mode of the autonomic nervous system and the parasympathetic mode of the autonomic nervous system. If you have been told that you are sympathetic dominant, that means that you are spending too much of each day in the stress response. And that is getting in the way of your healing. We need to be spending most of our time in the parasympathetic mode of the autonomic nervous system, because this is where all healing occurs, all healing, all restorative functions of the body. And when we are trying to recover from a chronic illness, like low thyroid function, we need not just to maintain, but to recover And that means it is even more important to be in the parasympathetic mode most of each day. So those are the 3 reasons that most people are still struggling with thyroid symptoms, even after following medical advice. 1, focusing too much on the thyroid gland and missing what is going on at a cellular level. 2, missing the connection between stress and thyroid function. This includes cellular function as well. And 3, hidden sources of stress. Not just the stress that you know about and can feel, but the stress you don't know about and don't feel. And that is the kind of stress that we can get to only with an advanced method of neural retraining. Thanks for listening. If you found this episode intriguing, I'd like to invite you to join the Heal Your Thyroid, the Mind-Body Solution community on Facebook. If you learned something or were inspired, please listen again and remember to subscribe and leave us a review. Content of this podcast, copyright 2024 by Twin Cities Neural Retraining. Music by Barbara Ben.